There are many videos out on YouTube that cover basic sales skills. But what about the unspoken sales skills that you truly need in order to earn multi-six or even seven figures? So in this video, I'm going to talk about 3 of the most crucial sales skills and characteristics that you need in order to set yourself up for a record-breaking career. And these are characteristics that aren't often spoken about. Now, what qualifies me to speak on this topic? Well, I've worked in software sales for over a decade now for some of the fastest growing software companies on the planet, including Amazon Web Services, just to name one. Now, I've delivered over $50 million throughout my career and done everything from being a frontline salesperson to a sales director and most recently a vice president of sales, leading a team of almost 20 across Europe, Middle East and Africa. So with that said, I certainly know a thing or two about what it takes to be a best-in-class salesperson and sales leader. So with all of that said, let's dive into the 3 characteristics. Skill number 1, effective articulation. Now, one of the things that we don't often talk enough about is a salesperson's ability to take a complex concept and distill it down in an easy to understand and digestible way. Now, especially within software sales, in many cases, you're talking about tech, and some of the world are really prolific with that. They understand tech, they get it, but there's other people that don't understand it so well. And so when you think about customers, part of your job is your ability to take a potentially pretty complex concept or something that maybe not everyone understands, and can you explain it in a way where it makes it really easily digestible for someone to interpret and then be able to act on that information? And one of the common things I see in top 1% salespeople is they're able to do exactly that. They can go and read through a topic, they can spend time understanding it, reading the books, going through the videos, going through the coaching, the mentorship, being part of a community, and they can take that information and then translate it to someone else in a way where it really resonates and it encourages that person to take action. Now, when you think about wanting to win a multi-6 or even 7-figure deal, start to earn the big bucks, your ability to do this is vitally important. You need to move people from their current state to a transformative future state, and to do that, you need to be able to get them comfortable and excited around concepts, around the way your technology works, your service works, your product works, or your sales process. And so you need to find out ways and work out ways to break things down, make things go in step-by-step format, make sure people are comfortable and understand what you're actually communicating with them and the way that you're going about explaining the journey ahead for them. Now, you might be wondering, how do you get better at this? How do you improve your ability to better articulate yourself? And the only way to do this is by being on the practice field, actually going and doing role plays. Do it with friends, do it with family, and then make sure you actually collect feedback from customers. Ask them, how did you find the way that I explained that? Are you sure that that makes sense? Could I spend more time on this to make sure that you truly understand it? Ask your customers for feedback, walk them through those types of questions to make sure you haven't lost that person. Some people also like to do the grandparent test, where they try and take a tech-based concept and they just explain it to their grandparents, see if someone from a slightly older generation can actually understand it, where maybe they haven't come up within a generation that was running so rife with tech, for example. So there's many different ways you can go about it, but just think about breaking things down step by step, testing it with customers, testing it with friends and family, and make sure that you distill information down in an easily digestible way. Skill number 2, conviction. I should also complement the conviction component with confidence, but I really want to focus this particular point on conviction in isolation. Now, the reason I say that is your customers can feel it. They can feel it when you truly, truly believe in what you're saying, when you truly believe in your product, your service, and your solution, and when you really know what you're talking about. It's very easy for someone to get found out when they don't truly have belief in what they're saying. And this can be one of the challenges when a salesperson is maybe having a bad month or a bad quarter. What often happens is their conviction starts to drop because really they're losing confidence in themselves, and through that they can lose confidence in their product, service, solution, and company. And so when you're in that situation and you're interacting with customers, customers feel it too. So if you're a salesperson and you're in a position where you're having that challenging month or challenging quarter, The one thing I encourage you not to do is don't let your conviction die. At all times, make sure that you run full steam ahead. And as long as you do truly believe in your company and your service and your solution, then you absolutely should have conviction. And if you don't have it, you should question if you're representing the right type of company, right? Because if you don't truly believe in it, you shouldn't really be selling it. Now, again, you might be wondering, how can you actively build your conviction? Now, the best way to go about this is really becoming a master at what you do in terms of the product, the service, the solution, and the company. The more that you know and understand, that inherently breeds conviction. And so I used to always make sure that I spent time with the smartest people in my company. I made sure that I invested in coaching, mentorship, people that could take me to the next level, to create more conditions in my mind where I really believed, where I really knew what I was talking about. And when you really know what you're talking about, conviction starts to come naturally. So make sure that you're putting yourself in environments where people raise the bar, where you get new knowledge, takes you to new heights, and you're around people that are really helping you to push the bar, and that will inherently breed your conviction. And that brings us on to skill number 3, which is resiliency. Now, resiliency is one of the most important aspects and characteristics you can have as a salesperson. Now, the one thing that a sales career will pretty much guarantee is there will be some hardships. Think about what careers out there mean that if you have a 30% plus close rate, it's actually good, right? And in most sales careers, 30% plus is a pretty solid closing rate. But what that also means is that 70% of the time, you're getting rejected, you're getting a no. And so you've got to be someone that's comfortable and confident accepting 70% plus rejection and still being able to march forward. Now, something that people don't often appreciate about resiliency is the fact that it can be built, it can be trained. It's something that you can develop over time, no different to going to the gym, working your muscles, you break them down, and then they grow back stronger. Resiliency is no different. You build up your brain, it takes some blows, but you can build it back up to be stronger, more effective, and able to weather any storm that may come at you. So that begs the question, how can you go about doing that? Now, there's really simple ways. Like, one way I go about just helping to build more mental resiliency is every morning I take a cold shower as one of the first things I do. This conditions the brain to get used to taking on some kind of challenge, weathering a storm, and then being able to come out the other side every single morning. That helps to just recondition the mind, the way that your brain thinks, the way that your body operates. All of these things can make a small but consistent difference over time. The other aspect of this is to constantly do things that make yourself a little bit uncomfortable, both personally and professionally. So when we think about in your role nowadays, a lot of people don't like making cold calls, right? They find it difficult because it's one of the ultimate things where you're going to get a lot of rejection, or even going door to door. Anything that really puts yourself out your comfort zone, go and do it, right? One day a week, twice a week, go and challenge yourself to do the things that when you just think about them right now, when you take a moment in this video, if you think making a call, bit uncomfortable, going door to door, bit uncomfortable, going talking to someone in public makes me feel uncomfortable, go and do it. One day a week, get out there and do the very thing that makes you uneasy. The more that you do it, the more comfortable you'll become in those scenarios. If you only ever do in life what everyone else is doing around you, you can only ever expect the same results. You've got to do things that push the boundaries, raise the bar, and put you in a position where you can outperform the version of you that existed yesterday. A bonus point that I'll mention here is getting aligned to Stoicism. So I classify myself as a Stoic. I've studied the philosophy for a long time now, and Stoicism really gives you a set of practical rules for life, but I find it's very good for salespeople. It helps to condition the mind to a certain way of living, really focusing on the things within your control, but it really helps with building mental toughness and resiliency, which can be incredibly valuable for any software salesperson. Now, if you either feel you have these 3 characteristics, but you want to develop them, or actually you think you're further behind the curve and you'd really like to understand them more, foster and develop them to help you to become the best possible software salesperson you can be, then check out the link in the description box below, where you can schedule a call with myself and my team. We'll tell you more about our program called The Transition, which takes existing salespeople and transitions them into a multi-6-figure career in software sales, And every single week we do group coaching where we talk about not only how to become a great software salesperson, but how to build the mind, how to build the body and the spirit so that you can set yourself up for a long-term sustainable career over time. We really focus on building the next generation of top 1% salespeople. So whatever your background is, I'd love to have a conversation with you and learn and unpack how we can go about making this transition for you as well. Now, I hope that you've enjoyed this video. If you did, I've got many more that you'll also enjoy just as much, if not more. What I'll do is I'll have some of those options pop up on screen right now. Make sure that you click one of those options, check out more of the content, take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe so that you never miss out on a future video. And on that note, I look forward to seeing you on the next one.